Hey guys, and welcome to the Mysteries of Selindor, episode 122. I am your GM, Gagnor, and I can't remember what happened last week. So, Seti, what happened to our intrepid group of adventurers last week? There's two of you?
There's two of us, what?
There's two of me.
What the fuck? I just fixed it. Why is it back?
Double similar.
Can I, undo?
We has the power.
I will build the body twice as fast.
I'm just gonna undo a whole bunch.
Double your organs, double your fun.
I was but one.
You're gonna be broken on the other one now, but we'll, hey, we fixed it. Okay, last
double
week,
all of the organs.
We are in Vedeva's temple in the Cauldron of Purity, and we met with Dr. Mircule and St. Chortle and called Egelman, are experts on what we're trying to do in terms of building order in a new body that his soul will be able to inhabit without any bad consequences. We skipped time 2 weeks while mostly people were working on gathering Aquim, working on the body or different parts of it. I think Grim was growing organs in the most recent week. We were all just kind of trying to assist a bit. Orden finished the rings that he was making for us and worked on an Aquim heart. Mitnir got stronger. And I don't know, that's about it. Egelman is physically arriving as we left off to see what he can do.
Yes, so as we have the team working in the respective fields to make a new body for their friend Oren, or at least pass the time in some meaningful way, we look upon heading north from the hole. Is that what I called it? The bud hole. Heading north from the bud hole, we hear the clip-clop of horse hooves as Archibald Egelman rides towards Vedeva's temple. So, what is everybody doing today? This is the 2 weeks have passed so far in the Cauldron, and you haven't heard from Archibald, but there have been rumors recently that you have heard of others maybe witnessing him, because they would have arrived days before him, even if they were just ahead of him in line by a few seconds outside, or a few minutes outside. Mm-hmm. So there are whisperings of a very strange individual who is riding a horse underwater, mm-hmm. And has made their way into the Cauldron. So you have heard whispers of such things, but today is still yours. What would you guys like to do?
Oh man, this is wrapping up week 2, or starting week 3?
Week 2. This is starting week 3.
I think Seti's realized that she's kind of done all that she can, or that this is really out of her depth. So maybe she's turning her focus to the Enveruna problem.
Okay.
Seti will be making calls today.
Okay, Seti will be making calls today. Does anybody have anything more concrete that they would like to do?
I'll probably start working with St. Chortle on making a liver and kidneys.
Yeah, did you guys complete the core, the heart?
Yep.
All right. So are you attempting to make the filter organs is what you're working on now?
Yeah.
I assume. Cool. So as you begin working on the process of that, I will say go ahead and, if you're working with St. Chortle, because he should have time to work with you on those as well. You can either have St. Chortle roll and you roll, or you can roll yourself with advantage and add 5.
I'll do the roll with advantage.
All right.
If allowed, perhaps he can also give assistance.
Well, what do you, if Bropsy is doing that this morning, if you want to say that Bropsy is helping them work on making organs this morning, then absolutely. If there's anything else you would like to be working on this morning, then I would say that you wouldn't be there. So it's up to you what you think.
She would work on, so I think Goran's situation is her top priority.
Okay, so you're hanging out in the workshop, which I assume they're still using Grimm's workshop to work on this, or maybe they've moved into wherever Theodore St. Chortle has set up shop here. And you guys are all hanging out and working on creating aquam organs that will connect and integrate into the rest of the system that you are starting to work on. Don't forget, you still have nervous system, vascular systems, and all that to build still.
But Grimm has probably started on other organic organs. Like I think
probably
a stomach is probably something that will be organic. I'm thinking.
Stomach would need to be organic if he's going to consume regular food.
Relatively straightforward, yeah, and he's probably going to still want to.
And it would need to be the entire digestive system. So
yeah,
full esophagus, because you're going off the lungs anyways. It's going to be easy to adapt the rest of the esophagus and the entire digestive system, the worm, as it were, should be pretty easy to do, and you may be able to make it more efficient if you want. Which is to say that, assuming that you were to use, using your expertise, specific type of fungi or specific type of bacteria or other such things to make sure that his gut can break down food incredibly fast, you probably don't need like 30 feet of intestines. You could probably get it done a lot faster.
Oh yeah, I can definitely give him a really efficient like gut biome.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you how you want to do that though, because it may make it so that if he eats, he has to poop in like an hour or like less. So like
immediately.
Yeah, it's like it just goes through. I got all the nutrients. The food goes through. Like 50 seconds later, it comes straight out. He's like, I got everything I needed.
What if we just make it so that he doesn't have to poop?
That sounds great.
What if we make it so that he just like...
if you're gonna do that, then you're gonna need to find some sort of venting system for the
refuse into energy
broken down.
Or
what if like the vet of his nectar just like absorbs the
nutrients?
Build something into the butt where it casts prestidigitation if anything squeezes through the cheeks. So like even your farts would get dissipated. Nobody would ever smell a fart.
Is what your plan is to do a mostly organic digestive system, but once it gets to the butt, that is back to full-on clockwork.
Clockwork anus.
And it is a straight up just garbage disposal.
No, I mean, I think
the sphincter rest.
Grimm's not going to go like. He's just going to make sure that he has like a healthy gut biome, nothing like. Yeah.
We'll stick with the.
It'll be efficient, but not like over the top. Like, so he'll work from the esophagus down to the stomach. That'll be his immediate goal. He's not going to mess with anything that connects the lungs to the heart necessarily, right? Because obviously that's going to need to be...
This is an opportunity, should you wish, to make his lungs capable of adapting to other types of atmosphere. If you want to focus on that, you could spend time working on that as well, if you want to mess with it. Or you can make his lungs just normal lungs.
I'm going to say that I'm going to be helping Grimm since Chortle is helping.
I don't think Grimm would necessarily think of that. I think he's focused on just building him a body.
Yeah, if you just want to use that, that's totally fine. To do such would require a little bit of mutations or hybridizing his lungs with the lungs.
I think right now Grimm's just like focused because like we're already hybridizing him enough to like get him half mechanical.
Cool.
I think
fair enough.
Yeah. I don't think Grimm would want to further complicate it by trying to like, he's also part fish. No, like,
just too many cooks in the kitchen, right?
Yeah, so he's gonna work on just kind of connecting his lungs and esophagus,
cool.
Work on this.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a roll for that. Go ahead and do your medical. This is going to be medicine. And then
did Robsy say she was assisting with that?
And I think I may have a higher medical than you. I have a +10 medicine.
So Ropsy, you were just playing support around the group, is what you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a +11.
She's going to be helping Grim and not me.
Oh, she's helping Grim and not you.
Yeah,
because
because Oren's having Chortle help, so I'm
okay, fair enough. That's better. Okay, yeah. So if you're gonna do that, then you can roll with
natural
advantage.
20 for a 31.
31. Okay. You're not sure what it is, but whatever fluid you are using, especially since you're using Vetiva's nectar, I assume are you using Vetiva's nectar to grow the organs, or are you using?
Yeah, no, he's definitely using Vetiva's nectar. Yeah.
Yeah. So
like that's what he uses, like in growing the bodies for.
Yeah, so it's a mixture of Vetiva's nectar and then the influence of your own spore cultures. I would say that you took a little bit of liberty just out of habit to maybe introduce some spore cultures to make your own like Grimm's nectar that you've worked with before whenever you made the Grimm shrooms, and you just know it's really good at quick growing of tissue because it only takes like 24 hours or whatever to grow a full body using that solution. So rather than make it take souls or involve any of these shrooms, the shrooms that eat souls or whatever this, you just take the part that's used for the growth, and I think you find like a little bit of a click, like it clicks with you, and you're able to grow fairly quickly. I'm going to say you're not even need to roll for the rest of the week. By the time the week is over, you will have grown the full digestive system, however you would like it.
There we go.
Yeah, it's pretty much hands off.
Yes, this is a very good start.
There. You've got the cells like programmed like with the magic sequence to grow that specific thing. You know what's going to be done.
Good. You're growing very nicely. Good stomach.
So
I go for your assistance, Bird.
As this is happening and you guys are working in your respective fields, actually, what are you doing, Mitnir? What are you doing?
I didn't tell you my roll yet.
Wait, what was your roll?
28.
28. So you pretty successfully get these organs situated and understand like how they're going to be grown, like how they're going to be built rather. And you start etching into them and get them situated. They will break down and waste nothing. With this, you should be able to retain your monk-like feature of, being able to process any sort of poison that goes into your body. These are going to be even more efficient in that than before. So because of how well you worked on that, I would say, yeah, we'll do that in the later rolls. But I'm going to just make a note that you did a good job on your filtration system.
Okay. And once they're made, might get Mitnir to do a little breath thing, see if we get anything.
Oh yeah,
extra.
would you like to do a breath on his
sure.
on his well-made kidneys and liver?
Yeah, I'll do that as the midpoint of my morning. Yeah, I'll come over and
sure. Okay, so lunchtime.
That done. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it'll be at some point in the week.
You sit down while they're making organs, and like you just like you have your breakfast, like your lunch there, and you're just like biting into it and ready to breathe, like just like oh. Yeah.
I'm gonna say like Mitnir's morning consists of him like carving a block of wood into like the shape of a head.
Great, yeah.
Like,
is this
he's
your
like,
suggestion for like I'm taking care of the head problem?
Yeah. I'm making a skull. I'm helping, and
sure.
I'll deliver that, whatever state it's in.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a dex check for that.
With that, I'm also going to deliver 2 water skins.
Okay.
And as I walk in, I'm like, I got your lungs. And he'll just go, and it, inflates it.
Yep, he walks in with those. We'll see how the skull looks.
Let's see. The skull is 13.
13? Yeah, it's certainly skull-shaped. It is solid wood. There is no cavity inside. But you have carved out the socket for where like the eyes would go, and it is certainly face-shaped.
I didn't put your jaw on yet, though. I didn't know, what if you wanted like the chiseled jaw line. If you wanted, I didn't know what you wanted.
Well, thank you, Mitnir. It's great. Just kind of look at St. Chortle like.
Yes, well, you did a fine job there, lad. That there's going to be a real inspiration to us going forward.
Just kind of smiles to himself and sets it down, just like, haha.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, you just take one of these. And he takes a little sticker. Well, it's not really a sticker. It's actually like a little piece of metal that has been carved slightly and shaped. And then has like a little bit of paste on the back, a little bit of glue. And then he sticks it on your chest on this little star. And he says, that's you for just doing a great job today.
Ha. He's just like that happy little kid, like, I did good.
He just like pushes it. You see he's like an entire sticker sheet of just these stars. He's like, you'd be surprised how many scientists actually get a hoot out of these. Oh, your little friend's an adorable one. Are you still around or did you go?
No, I'm still around. Like, all right, I'm not paying any attention.
Your little friend's an adorable one. And then he like whispers close to you. He's like, dumb as a box of rocks, though, I'll tell you.
Do you want me to do the breathing roll?
Yeah, go ahead and do the breathing roll.
And I figure since I made those rings so well, I didn't end up using the 2 vials of dust I had for each.
That's a 90.
Extra vials of
That's
dust.
a 90. All right. So,
these things are going to do some things.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that you have Breath of Creation influenced, well-made kidney and livers.
Okay. I think the heart was really well made too, right? So I rolled like a 30-something on that one.
Yeah, the heart was well made.
In before Egelman commandeers this body.
And then Mitnir, you can have 1, 2, 3. There's 5 vials of dust: diamond, emerald, topaz, sapphire, amethyst, 1 of each. I think you already had some of those, but you can add in a vial of each.
So, diamond, topaz, sapphire, emerald, amethyst?
Yeah. And then the moonstone one went back to Cleary because he said he wanted it back. Right?
Yeah.
I believe so. Yes. Yeah. All the moonstone, because that was not a moonstone rock.
It wasn't
was
regular
the skull of a moonstone dragon. So he wanted that back.
Yep.
Okay. So as you guys are all processing this, there's a little bit of a commotion going on in the general chamber of Vedava's temple. And you hear people kind of like making a few gasps and guffaws, and a little bit of just like noises is just like hollering from the central section.
We investigate.
I don't know. You guys could just be like, I'm going to ignore it and go back to work.
We don't give a single fuck.
I always leave moments for somebody to tell me they're doing something. So as you guys go in and take a look, you see down in the very center, there is the line of people. And in the middle of them, kind of just pushing them out of the way, is a horse with an old, like very wrinkled looking man on it. One that you have all seen before, wearing this regal attire and this, what appears to be now easily recognizable matches steel armor, is Archibald Egelman. And he says, if you don't move, you're probably going to get squished by Sebastian. It is in your best interest to move or be moved. There's lots of clamoring going on and people yelling about getting this old fart out of here, and that he's crazy, and just a bunch of hollering going on.
Seti gets really excited and like starts shoving through, like, out of the way, important person coming through, and like we'll try to like help disperse the crowd.
Yeah, go ahead and make me a make a persuasion check.
Are you implying that you're the important person, or that
That's
he's
what she's implying?
No, Egelman is the important
Okay, well
person.
then deception.
Can I also use prestidigitation to make a bad smell happen that would naturally drive people away?
You can certainly do that. I'm not going to say that gives you advantage, though, in them believing that he's an important person. And that's because I don't think you believe that he's an important person, and that's
he's
why I'm saying you
important to me. He's
deception.
helping with our thing. He's very important to me. It's a 22.
He's important 22. In this moment.
Yeah.
In this moment, he's important to you. So as you say, important person coming through, what kind of smell are you also emitting in the area?
Just like old fish.
Oh.
Old fish? Well,
shit. Really no, that's not.
It's not. Your immediate instinct is to go old fish. And as you do, they're like, I thought we cleaned this place better than that. Oh, well. Nobody really seems to react much.
Damn it.
And Archibald Egelman riding his horse through, people do sort of like, oh, shit.
One of the shark guys is like, damn, I'm hungry now.
Hey, you recognize her? She's one of the people that freaked this place out. You know, people start whispering in, and do make a bit of a path for you. And then Archibald says, that's much better. You've learned quite well. Hello there, my fairest friends. And as he hops down, you hear a big crack. And he goes, ooh, totally fine.
I do a big bow. So good to see you, Archibald.
Of course. I remember your name, but for the rest of us, just in case, mayhaps you will say it out loud?
Oh, yes, for the rest of us. I'm Setimera, for those of you that didn't know.
Yes, this is my good friend, Setimera.
Absolutely. Why don't you come on it? We have...
You? No, he is an elf, and I am a human. We are good friends, and we are here to do nothing of a suspicious or unnatural nature.
Yep, just a little magic.
I think they're gonna fuck.
Perfect magic.
Come on, Sebastian, let us go.
Yeah, I'll bring him. I'll show him to the lab.
So he walks up and he guides his horse along, who's clearly made of nothing organic, and pulls Sebastian and like says, "Ho ho!" And he takes and he pulls out an apple and he puts it in Sebastian's mouth, and Sebastian just like the jaw just kind of like clicks back a bit, and the apple fits in, and then he just goes, "Very good." And it just sits there. He doesn't chew it. He doesn't eat it. It's just an apple sitting in his mouth, and he goes, "Well then. Where are we to be working? I do believe you said this was of utmost importance that I arrive."
We really appreciate you coming so quickly. We do have a lab set up where some stuff is happening, and then the chamber over there is where more stuff is happening. But I'll let Orin and Grim take it from here because they've been the ones with the hands-on everything.
Oh, yes, I remember them as well. They are...
I definitely point as I'm like, Orin and Grim, that one.
And he goes, "Orin, yes, that one. Grim, sure, makes sense. You have a very grim demeanor." Demeanor. That's what he would have said. It is a demeanor.
Yes, very, very grim.
Well, could somebody get me up to speed? I do believe that we discussed the basic details of regrowing a body, obviously. Would you show me where we're at, and then have a bit of a discussion and allow me to see your patient that is to be transitioned?
Suppose we should let him introduce himself.
Back at the lab now?
Yeah, we'll head to the lab.
He's talking out loud as you guys walk in there.
Okay.
Clip-clopping of the horse hooves as you make your way back to the lab.
So I'll show him what we have made so far, which I think at this point would just be the heart. Because this week we're doing the other stuff, right?
And the lungs.
Yeah, the heart, the lungs, everything else is growing or in the process of completing. He says, "Oh, you're doing a bit of a hybridization process. I see the use of aquam smithing. Very well done. This looks influential of the work of Theodore St. Chartle. Ah, yes. Oh, good. There he is. A person who is important enough to remember. I mean, a person with whom I am so familiar, like the rest of you, I was incapable of forgetting his name."
Yes, he's been a big help.
"Well, how be it? So good to see you, my friend." He says, "You as well." Sorry.
Break RP for a moment to just say that I feel like I need to adopt this man's way of... I totally remember everything. I didn't forget a thing. I know who you are. We've been friends for 7 years. Yeah, I remember things.
Absolutely.
Who would forget that?
Not me.
For Suri's information, she doesn't know. She doesn't know. I know. Suri doesn't know. Okay.
Very well. So... These are well
the
named.
one.
I think you're quite on the process. Obviously, there's more that needs to be done, but this is not what you called me for. You called me for soul transferences, to put him in him. And when I say him, I mean obviously the him that would be made out of these little bitty bits you're doing now.
Exactly. Ora needs to get out of the body he's in right now and into this one when it's done.
I see. Well, obviously you see the problem.
Well, it's not the body he was shoved into the first time.
Yes, that is, you've mentioned that. I remember that. That wasn't the problem I was talking about, though.
Okay, I'll leave it to the experts.
Well, that is also one of the things. That one I really didn't forget. Of course he's alive. Look at him. Much like me. Very alive.
Very alive.
Now, the most important thing in this process is the transference of a soul. The biggest problem is that he is not the only soul.
Ah. So you can see the other one, yeah?
Oh, yes, it's written all over him. The glaring. Do you not see his skin cascades with the broken, fractured will of the goat?
So, what do you propose we do about that?
Well, of course, there are many ways to go about doing this, but in the end, they will need to be separated. And...
that is, yes, very much the purpose.
The other thing, and the reason why I told you to research both reincarnation and cloning...
We did.
Is... Well, that's very good. The reason I told you to study both of these is because not having a body with which the soul is already attached would make it very difficult for the body to then be guided into it. Also, it'd be very difficult for you to trick the body into believing that, well... Oh, I sold up. Sorry, I got confused. It's very difficult for you to grow a body off the soul because you can't use the body as a blueprint, and you can't transition the body into the soul because it was never there to begin with. Right, so what is our solution?
Well, I was wondering about soul gems, maybe.
Sure, you could trap him in there if you wish, but I have a better plan. I think we do to him what we did with me.
Oh.
The reason why I asked very vehemently if this was important, to what level of degree, and you said the entire universe was at stake.
Pretty much, yeah.
It'd be great if we could prove that before I tell you all of my secrets.
Well, Northart's trying to collapse the planes into one big pancake mush, and that would destroy reality as we know it, and we are trying to stop him, and as you can see, he shares a body sort of all mixed up with our friend here, and we don't want our friend being a conduit through which he can come out into this world, and we also want to, you know, help our friend survive so that we can all fight him together and try to stop that from happening.
Right, cool. That's cool. I'm just saying that, like, if you guys are all dead, there's still lots of folks.
Yes, but this one is important.
But we don't need another Northart running around.
Yes.
This much is true. And I see the issue there, and we should certainly try to avoid it. Make me a persuasion check. I'm going to say with disadvantage, because
with guidance. Wish I had guidance IRL.
You can. It's called being a hype man.
I am a hype chick, and it don't do shit. For me, at least.
It's a 23.
23. He looks at Orin. I hope you're all very good at secret keeping.
We're the freaking best. We have so many secrets, and it's killing me to not talk about them, but I haven't blabbed at all.
Very well. As you all have probably realized now, there are a lot of Eaglemans running around.
Yep.
I'm sure you've met several of them. I have received messages on the countenance of some saying that friends of mine have been poking about, which was ridiculous, of course, because I didn't remember making any friends. But, as it were, I suppose acquaintances were to pass, and I remembered you. So, the thing is... And he reaches up, and he pulls off his face. And as he does, you guys see a skeletal form underneath. And as this skeleton head pops out underneath, you see just the head of a skeleton with like some very intricate rune work and details all over his skull. And you can see like glowing in his, like inset into his eyes are like not human eyes, but like some sort of mechanical, like quasi-mechanical, quasi-organic eyes. That are like sitting inside. And he looks at you and there's like bug out eyes. And he says, "This is the real me, Archibald Eagleman."
That he is going to pretend to be shocked.
Who saw this coming? What? No.
Minnie's jaw actually dropped like, holy shit, he's actually shocked.
Now, here's the thing. I'm sure all of you presume that I am an undead.
But you're not.
But you're a talking skeleton.
I am not an undead. Not in the sense that in no way have I ever died. Let me tell you the story of how a very, very greedy wizard, well, artificer, if you're being more specific, had the idea that rather than cloning himself to live forever, why not live forever all at once? So.
Wait. Okay.
So there's a piece of you in each of the Eaglemans?
Very long time ago, I used to clone myself whenever I started to reach the point of no return. I became younger. I continued my research, my work, continued my mercantile empire. But let me tell you, the more you do this, the more your soul grows weary. It is not there to continue for all eternity in time. You begin to wear out the very essence of what makes you human. You begin to forget things. You forget your soul itself, often wandering in a tizzy. And so I found that my soul was out-aging while my body continued to clone and become young. My soul needed rest in a sense. It had not entered this cycle. It had not reached its soul home to regain its energies, and therefore I was fading. So what could I do? And what could I do to stop wasting all these bodies I kept killing of myself? It was truly a barbaric procedure. Well, I decided that instead of just cloning myself, why not clone my soul? So
that's incredible. I mean, okay.
Oh yes. I used a theory in which, rather than reincarnating and entering into this cycle, which it cycles through your home your soul home, and then reintegrating into the greater ether of the material plane, re-entering your soul into a new body. Of course, this has been shortcutted with druids mastering the reincarnation spell. They accelerate the process, create the spot in which it will occur, and then break the rules of time. This is a very, honestly, simple, mundane procedure. Once nature is on your side, you can do many things. Because nature itself is the driving force. But I wanted more than just to reincarnate. And even if you do that, again, the soul becomes dead over time. So, logically, after cloning the soul, I thought, perhaps if it's two of us, we will resonate. And I was right. As I made the second Eagleman, also known as Bartholomew Eagleman, we learned that not only did it accelerate our own soul to continue living, but it amplified both of us in such a way that we would live just as long as if it were two of us together.
I see.
Do you understand what happened after I multiplied this, well, nearly 30 times?
Yeah, that's...
You end up with a bunch of cloned souls in bodies that will live for 30 times the length of a human being. And all of us are one soul. Interesting effect that it has. Strange, and the reason why typically I stay away from myself. No more than a few of us can be in one place at a time. It becomes a bit too noisy. I realized my mistake over time, of course, and that's that in a body where the soul is going to proceed to live 30 times the amount of, well, a human's intended, the body, however, continues to age, decay, and eventually, become very much less than human.
Well, humans have skeletons too. I wouldn't say less.
Of course.
Maybe
the thing is that I was no longer able to shift my body in the same way after this fiasco. I found myself as one undead, not undead, entity among nearly 30, running around, living all of our lives at once. And whereas that is quite interesting and quite great, and I found that that cannot go on forever. So what I've been working on is a reversal of the process. In my many years of travel, I have found a way to merge souls. But I did not wish to do this to my brothers who are still well enjoying their lives. I have lasted many, many centuries longer than the rest. I have selfishly stolen that time only for me, and will continue to live ever so much longer still. So I cannot take that time from them. They are their own individuals. Nurture has certainly taken time away from the nature and made them their own individuals. And only when we are all close to the end shall I merge us once again so we may become whole. However, that does not change the fact that I have made this process. So, what I propose is that we clone his soul. We give it a body to attach itself to, using the same logic of reincarnation. As long as we have bits and it becomes acceptable, we can trick it into believing that is the new body, the new home. A soul gem will make it easier for the transfer, sure, but it's not necessary if you don't wish to.
Well,
with this simple act, we will then have 2 Orins. It is in that moment that we will designate and, well, as it is, kill one Orin and fuse the soul back into the other, merging them. If we mess up, of course, it will mean that original Orin is dead, but hey! This Orin's still him, still his soul, still alive, but original Orin will cease to be.
Oh boy.
Wouldn't be the first time.
What does that do with the Northolt?
There's the other issue. In getting rid of the little bit, we must separate the two of them. That will, of course, happen when we break him down within his inner realm. As a two-pronged defense, we will have one side breaking the, well, I suppose the physical aspect, that is, Orin, and removing his seals, as they were, and attempt to tear him apart. What is left during that time should be Northolt, and what is left inside his inner realm should be his soul, which we will attempt to separate from the separate soul inside. Once we reconnect them together, once we have a proper body, it'll then be up to, well, the rest of you to just defeat whatever's left, I suppose.
Right, so essentially, unleash the thing that we've been trying to prevent from being unleashed, and then kill it.
There's not really a lot of other options, unless you have a way to instantaneously kill him, but we need time to transfer what is left of Orin's soul into the new body. After separation, we don't want his soul flitting off to nowhere land.
How much? Right, okay.
Ooh, I have an idea about the instant destruction. Yeah? The apperception chamber can do that.
We just unleash it in the apperception chamber, hit the button, and hope your soul has enough time to get out.
Well, no, you can make sure my soul gets out. It'll be trapped in that room. It can't go anywhere.
I don't know what an apperception chamber is, but I'll tell you this. Those Northolt incarnations are very sturdy. Make sure that whatever this is capable of doing it before you bank everything on that.
I'm pretty sure it is, but we can check with Primus.
I'll just quickly explain what the apperception chamber is, like with the lenses and like the different functions and.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I linked all that in the chat, right?
There, I'm looking for my D20. I don't know what I did with it. I think I rolled it away. It's just gone.
Yeah, the 8th lens eradicates everything in the room.
Fuck. Well, yeah, I mean, so that is certainly what it says that it does. That said, you also witnessed it not destroy the book.
I don't think we tried to destroy the book.
The book was in when you guys turned it on.
Yeah.
There were tentacles everywhere. You guys turned it on.
Yeah.
The light that was broken through the view screen went through and destroyed the wing of Professor Master Phoenix. And the book was sizzling. The black tentacles were receding into it, and it was not destroyed.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that would, yeah, Northolt would probably be fine.
It's.
I mean,
I'm
it's
just saying
not.
It
it's not full on Northolt. It's just one of the avatars.
It's just one of the avatars.
And I have fought one of those. They're not that hardy. I don't think it would survive that room.
And if it did, we'd all be
probably
there
also wouldn't survive.
Ready to melt it.
5, 6 level 16 characters, or 15, 16 characters.
I think the apperception chamber is probably our best bet. I certainly don't have any better. I was going to say we throw him in a pit of lava and then do the thing as you're falling into lava.
Yes, it would certainly be. So I suppose our plan would be to use a soul gem to extricate his soul from his body, during which time there will be a two-pronged defense. First, you must release the soul before we can even take it. That would mean a group diving within his inner realm, separating him from anything that binds him within.
Okay.
From that point, as we transition, he will transform. And he will probably be dangerous both within and without. We need to transfer his soul into a gym, get out of whatever this apperception chamber is, make sure he cannot leave the apperception chamber. I'm not sure how you're going to stop an incarnation of Northot from leaving anywhere, but hopefully we can catch him by surprise. Certainly something you would like to work upon.
Yes, we have time
to... Maybe we can tie him down to something?
I will work on the procedure of soul cloning, if that is what we are wishing to do.
Orin, this is all your call.
You should be aware, having a split soul in the beginning is one of the most disorienting things I've ever experienced. Imagine seeing through two eyes at once. Feeling two hearts beating at different rhythms.
I don't think it'd be the weirdest thing I've experienced.
Well, you've had a fucked up life then, my friend.
Yes. I have.
So, you all may not like this, but we probably could ask for some help.
Ask who?
Some people who would probably be very good at dealing with this kind of thing.
I know the people you're thinking of, but I'd rather ask the Spectra.
You could ask them too. But it might be a good idea to ask somebody for help. If you're worried that you might not be able to handle it.
Well, as far as the soul cloning goes, I think that's probably the safest route.
It gives you an anchor to go to.
Certainly it's a bad time if, well, your soul gets eviscerated or something. Or you die in a way before we can clone you back together or re-merge you. In a sense, you'll feel like part of you just goes poof. It will hurt too.
Now, what about those who are going into the soul
safe-ish.
home?
Do what?
What about those who are going into his inner realm? How do they get in there and get out? And
well, I presumed that this one would do it. He gestures towards Seti.
I can get.
She's got dream leaking out of her ears.
Yep.
Not to mention the fact that if you look over at this boy. I'm sorry, I didn't even know you realized I was here. Hey, well, look at this blue boy over here. Clearly, he's been in inner realms before. He's got the smell of an awakener.
Yes.
All right.
Getting in and out isn't the problem. Well, getting out could be a problem, but getting in isn't the problem. Getting out depends on what's going on inside. But I am working on my control and getting better at asserting myself in that space.
You should practice a lot more.
I'm every night.
That should be your main duty. Should be practicing controlling your inner realm. I'll get what is necessary to get the soul cloning process done, but that body needs done as well. I'm a master artificer, and I can certainly help you with any of the clockwork components necessary. As you see, Sebastian is quite well made.
Very convincing horse.
Still has an apple in his mouth.
Wait, that's not a horse either?
Just holding the apple, not actually eating it?
Yeah, just holding it. So, if there's any doodads, sticky wickets, or fun little bits you'd like to add, now's the fun time. Personally, I haven't done anything too extreme with my own body, but my bones, and you watch as his bones open up, and you see small little things start moving around all over his head. He says, "These little babies do lots of the work for me."
Wow. I'm very impressed. This is all very impressive magic. boy. Okay. Well, we have a better plan now than I think we did before. Right?
Yes. Well, it's very good.
I believe if I've been taking notes correctly, you see he's got like this long, like Crumples has been getting noted on, and Crumples is like just continuously rolled out, and you can see it's kind of going. Like the paper is just like wheezing, and it's just like, and he's just like, we're going to be needing to get a soldier. We have certainly more pieces we need to work on. Or you'll need to decide which other parts you'd like to be made out of what other bits. Obviously, with time, we will develop each thing. But vascular system, nervous system, some sort of brain situation is going to be necessary. Well, we can grow it organically or what have you, but the best way to do it, I would imagine. Oh, certainly. There are ways to do it. I could make it all clockwork, you know. You never get any of those annoying headaches, I'll tell you what's doozle. I'm not sure. It's entirely up to Oren, of course, but I think maybe Occam would be good for the neural pathways, and maybe we could do like a mithril network inside, like a tinsel of some kind, and just let it fill as a sort of liquid conductor.
Yes, we have time for that, but in the meantime, well, what if can somebody contact Ord and ask if maybe he might be able to help us to build a little, I don't know what to call it, a cage?
For Northhot.
It's certainly ask.
If he could come, maybe he could come stop by and build us a safe place to do this when the time comes.
He could certainly try asking. I'm not entirely certain that Ord would have the time or really give a shit enough to help us in this regard, but we can certainly try. I'm not on good standing with him, but...
Well, that's maybe Mitnir and I can make a little call.
I wish you the best of luck in that regard. If we can get Ord doing construction on our side, that would be huge.
He would probably have to come here to be able to complete it in time.
Maybe, yeah.
I wouldn't be certain of that.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. We could probably also have it delivered here or something. But in any case, it might be
a little
good
bit
to have
different when it comes to gods.
a secure facility to be able to do this, so that we don't even need an apperception chamber. Just a safe place where we can just duke it out. There
are certainly options.
There's no
I would say the
guarantee
apperception chamber. At least we know nobody would be able to see us doing this. Even Northhot is unable to see inside it. At least that is the belief that we currently have. So he wouldn't notice, at least, if an incarnation of his was born, and he wouldn't be able to come to its aid.
That would be great.
Would he be able to see in there if he did have an incarnation in there?
Well, I think not enough of us know enough about Northhot to even say anything definitively. But I would say that nobody can see inside, as far as I'm aware. So, even if a part of him is within, it's not like he can see Orn at all times.
That's true.
I think it's...
But I don't think we know how an incarnation of Northhot sees, or how it connects to the greater hive mind at all.
The chance.
My only worry is, are we going to move everything that we're working on over there?
I think we would complete it first. Complete the body first, and then
we're
just
going to wheel an inanimate corpse to a different plane.
Frankly, that's the least of my worries. We can just
put it in the portable hole and then carry it.
Walk up there and take it out. That transporting his body is the least of our worries. But time, you are correct. It would be a bit of a stressor out there.
We do have to get Primus's permission everything.
I think it will come down to what we have time to do, how many weeks or months it takes us to complete Owen's body, I believe is the most important thing to take into account here. If we have time to get out and we have days on the other side, then absolutely I think the apperception chamber is a good place to start. If we in fact have less than a day on the outside, because it comes that close, then we won't have time to do it anywhere but here.
Then we'll do it here. See what happens.
So, I think as far as it is, buckle down, New Death.
Yes.
Get to work.
Absolutely.
Very well. Please let me know on what parts I shall be working or assisting, if you do not wish to give me my own project.
I do think that maybe we might have to ask you. The brain might be a good idea, but we will have to discuss.
Very well. We can certainly talk. But as it is, let's get this week cooking. So, we already know what Grim, not even Grim. Grim, you can hands off that entire section. So you have most of the week. This is going to take you the day to set up. So you have 6 days more for you to be able to work on something else, because those organs will grow themselves. You rolled high enough. You just have to kind of like check in on it.
He can go do some training after all, I guess.
Sure, if you want to do that, and while those are growing, if you don't think you have like time to like start another one, or you don't want to like work on two at a time.
Oh, that's true. He could just start something else. What else could he start?
I'm just saying, either way is an option. So decide on that. If you would rather work towards leveling, or if you would rather work towards getting a second thing started. Meanwhile,
it's more that knowing that we might have to fight something now too, and the possibility of being able to access
an additional fracture would be very good. Yes.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mitnir, what are you working on? You gonna train?
Yeah, week 2 of training.
Week 2 of training. Sounds good.
Yeah. I think Grim will train.
Yeah, go ahead and give me guys.
Otherwise,
actually, I'm not even gonna make you guys roll for this.
Otherwise, he might have to keep track of 2 different projects.
Yeah,
at the same time.
So I think pretty much like you come in, like you go out with Mitnir. I'd say like if nobody else is going to be training, then just Mitnir and Grim probably just head out, do some exploring and fight some wild monsters and get 1 week worth of experience. During that time, you would get 1 less day though, because you did have to spend that day. Well, actually, Mitnir spent the same day, so I'll say you guys will just go ahead and get the full week. That's fine. You both get a week of training. You're just popping around helping with anything that you need to help with, because is there anything else you would like to do? Because if you were just helping Grim at the time, with what you helped with, and he's set. So you would have more time than you thought if you wanted to help somebody else or work on your own project. Where's my die?
I mostly just want Propsy to talk to Oren.
Okay, well, you can certainly do that anytime. If you would like to say like I want to take some time like on day 1 to talk to him, or on day 3, but that's not what you're going to be doing for a whole week, right? So if we say anytime, even when I'm talking like this, you can just say, hey, I want to pull Oren aside and talk, and just go ahead and do that. I don't know where my die went. It's bothering me. I'll find it during the break. But what would you like to actually do during the week?
Just keep helping however I can.
I think you should spend the week leveling up. Train with Mitnir and Grim.
Feels wrong.
That's
not wrong.
Working on getting more powerful so that we can.
I know.
Confront
I'm just saying, as Bropsy, it feels wrong. But if in character people are like encouraging her to join them, she would do it.
I mean, certainly.
It's like a way to contribute if you don't have a body to build at that particular moment.
Everybody should be doing something.
I get it.
So
I get it. I'm just saying, as Bropsy, she just wants to be.
Everybody seems to have what they're working on in hand. Mm-hmm. You guys still have Archibald, who hasn't had an assignment yet. Seti, what are you doing during this time?
I'm spending my nights in the inner realm, like fucking shit up.
Rocky montage.
Yeah, training. So I'm like visiting people and like going into their inner realms and like trying to shape them and like have people try to like fight me on it.
Yeah,
and
so
try
basically,
to, like...
you're doing a different thing than the rest of them, where we're physically going out training.
I'm mentally
but you're still training. You're still training for leveling, right? Is that what you're doing during that time?
Well, yeah, I would say I spend all my nights doing that, and then like during the day,
there's some people you need to call. Obviously,
I think I want to network. I want to try to work on getting somebody, if not multiple people, in as potential champions. So like,
I will say that like a real networking, like doing real networking, especially considering how your time is going a lot faster, it will not give them any time on the other side to really figure out what's going on. Like they won't have, you can't call the same guy twice in a week,
because it would be the same day for him.
It would be the same day for him.
Yeah, that's fair. Just like, I want to start planting those seeds. Like I want to learn stuff. I want to call Hyacinth and find out about like, is there a champion in line for the Feywild? You know, who do I have to beat out, or like, can we?
Okay, so here's what I'm going to go ahead and do for you. Go ahead, make me a just. Oh, this is so rough. I don't know what the best way to do this would be. Just give me a plain
Fight Club.
Give me a plain charisma check.
I was gonna say maybe investigation if I'm like gathering info on the current champions or potential.
Investigation is fine. I'm okay with investigation.
That is a 31.
31. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, so you're able to get like a little bit of information. There aren't a lot of concrete champions, but there are a lot of potentials for a lot of them. And you are also, a lot of you are considered as aspirants for not even the ones that brought you in, but for wherever you fit, where you could draw power from and be their champion. For instance, Mitnir and, well, they're not considering Orin for currently for much of anything because he's got Northought in him, but they consider if he could ever get his shit fixed, Orin and Mitnir for being one of the celestial realms. Also, they're considering Mitnir for Acheron, which is like the plane of just fucking battle.
Yeah.
They're considering Mitnir very hardly as the actual selected Abyss. But unfortunately, right now, he only has Zugtamoy support of
Grim?
all the layers. Sorry, Grim. What did I say?
You said me.
Oh, my brain.
I was like, rude. Grim's right here.
Sorry, Grim for the Abyss. But he only has Zugtamoy's support out of all the layers of the Abyss. So she is working on being like,
shares an Abyss layer anyway, right? So
and she shares she's still one of the major ones.
Players.
It's just that she's still one of the biggest players in the Abyss. But yeah, her and Jubilex, one of the other biggest players in the Abyss, are constantly fighting over territory on the same layer.
Right, exactly.
So yeah. Anyways, there's a lot of work to be done. I think you've gotten feelers that if Grim could prove that he is better than Jubilex's champion, that would certainly do a lot to prove that he is the correct pick for the Abyss. But also, if he was just showing off a little bit more Abyss kind of achievements, if he was like doing some stuff the Abyss was really into, like if they found out he like infested the whole town and like turned them all into spores for his queen, they'd probably think that maybe he was like a little bit more on the same team. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that like they haven't seen him do enough to be like, this is our guy. But Zugtamoy has said there is no better champion than my champion already, and like she's actually like,
she's
people
already
are surprised.
No, like
people are surprised because she does not lobby anybody.
Yeah.
So the fact that she's like, no, my champion's better than your champion is like the first time in an eon that she's actually had a champion she was interested in. Usually she just turns them all into spore slaves and just throws countless not even champions, just countless lackeys at whatever the problem is. She doesn't ever usually have a champion.
So
I just imagine that Jublex's champion is just some like random ooze. it's just an ooze. Like
he's just like the gelatinous slime with the highest body count in some dank dungeon
exactly.
somewhere.
It's just a giant gelatinous cube.
It's just like it's a quarter-mile wide gelatinous cube.
Exactly. It's a
If
gelatinous
they ever need him to
ocean.
do anything, he's like, I'll be there in 5 years.
Be there in
But
6
it's never actually done anything. People just fall into it.
Exactly.
Like, that's our guy. Okay, so I kind of want to like talk to the group, but like I'll tell Graham basically my vibe about this is that like if he could make a little bit more of a splash in terms of like things abyssal powers might be like really impressed by, then that'd be great. But I'm getting a sense that she's already lobbying for him, and maybe
that's not where you could probably best spend your time.
Right. What about me? Like Feywild?
Yeah, so there are lots of individuals. One of them is Caliendo Esperanza. Who is being considered as one of the potential people for this. Also, you are on the list for the Feywild. But you are no higher on the list than another handful of candidates that have been involved in this longer. Poppy has somebody that is pretty up there for her. Hyacinth has Cal. Yeah. There is also a representative from the Shadowfell that is looking not to be a representative of the Shadowfell, but rather a representative of the Feywild. And they seem to have been trained by the, as they call it, dutiful daughter. The only one of your sisters that you have not met. And that she has a champion that she was recommending from there, and that mostly because House Necrom already has a very good front runner who was a follower of Shar that they want to put forward.
So there's a lot of competition for the Feywild, is what I'm hearing.
Well, it's basically like there's like maybe like 4 or 5 of you.
Maybe specifically because there are so many like established
because there's both sides. Yeah, there's lots. They're not going to be any archfey here. This is going to be like the closest they're going to be to like these high level fairs like Eladrin, or somebody who's like a little bit of a mix of this and that, like you. Nobody who's like up there full on archfey is going to be capable of doing anything else because they draw their energy from a different place, and it's less an internal thing.
Are there Are there other planes I could consider, or do I need to duke it out with these other guys?
I mean, it's entirely up to you. You could certainly try lobbying with other individuals, but it'd be entirely up to you to find somebody who would vibe with you. Trying to think of like people
I have relations with, like the matrons from the Feywild, right?
Yeah, that there'd be Baba Yaga.
Yeah, okay. And then Bropsy's a shoo-in for air, I'm assuming. Can I get a sense of that?
Yeah, so Avar has already started the proceedings to step down as the representative of the council and is trying to get Bropsy onto the council.
Oh boy. I mean, that would help.
I love him. What a good boy.
Should we maybe tell him to not do that because he's a great
You certainly can.
Stay there.
If you would like to sit, you don't even have the conversation. If you say that Bropsy would prefer to be the champion of air as opposed to that, then he will immediately have her the paperwork work. He's immediately going to start getting everybody else on board for that to happen.
Bropsy, would you prefer to be on the council and have to deal with all that shit, or would you prefer to be the champion?
When the fuck are we going to be in the council? We're out doing shit.
So
he's like, for all that.
How dare I lead my lady? I can't possibly do that. She must be at the top of the hierarchy.
So in my investigations, I get wind of all this. I will tell Bropsy to call him and tell him that she would like to be the champion, and so they can have that conversation.
I don't want to be president. President doesn't get to do anything fun.
Well, she's just gonna say you've been doing this longer than I have, and I trust your judgment.
Of course, my lady. Anything that I can do for in your service. You want to be champion, I'll make you champion. You want to be queen bitch, I will make unbelief fall. You just let me know.
Noted. Thank you.
Very well. Okay.
So she's going to become a champion for the airplane, yeah?
For the airplane.
The process
she's
has
gonna
started.
She's going to be the airplane champion.
Okay. That's pretty good. If just one of us gets promoted, whoever gets promoted first needs to learn the plan and then be like, this is what we should do.
I mean, yeah. So basically, what that means is she will start to get the information basically when she is voted in because you have to get council approval still. Mm-hmm. Whereas Havar is basically going to be able to be like, this is our choice until it's ratified by the council. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So that'll take time that will not happen during the 5 days or whatever you guys are in
4
here.
days. Okay.
Yeah, 4 days that you guys are in here.
But the balls are rolling.
Balls are rolling.
Yeah.
Balls are rolling. Sing.
Yeah, so that's what I spend my week doing. It's just learning all that stuff and then getting those balls rolling.
Cool.
I want to throw out that I could potentially, instead of doing the training, I could be doing some potioning. If we have access to ingredients, I can make where'd it go? Potions of invulnerability or superior healing potions.
I mean, yeah, you can certainly work on some of those if you would like.
When I get level 15, I don't really get a whole lot.
We also have 4 months in here, so we can get the level later.
Wait, what?
We're gonna be in here for 4 months.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Okay.
For 4 months.
Okay.
We're on week 3.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't need to be finding things to do instead of trying to level up.
Yeah, just level up this week with the boys, and then
Okay.
We have the Eggleman here, who has access to all his stores, and you have 2,000 Egglebucks. Or 200 Egglebucks.
All of his stuff at all time. He knows where all of his stuff is at all. Because he has magic bags that sit on Sebastian, which he tells you about at length. Since you guys spend a whole week together.
I will definitely ask him at some point, what is the best thing I can get from your store for 2,000 for the Egglebucks I have?
Or if we all pool
for 2,000? Oh, here we go.
200 Egglebucks.
200 Egglebucks.
I'm willing to pool our Egglebucks.
How many Egglebucks do you guys want to pull together and ask for the best thing that he can get you guys for that price?
Well, there's only 600 total.
I spent all mine already.
Oh, so there's only 400 total.
I spent mine.
All right. Hold up. I gotta get to my.
I spent mine. Mood gambled his, and Phelan spent his.
I mean, I spent mine too. It just resulted in 0 gain.
There we go. My master tables. There we go. So the best stuff that you can get for about is it 2,000 gold or is it 20,000 gold?
2,000 gold.
Or 4,000.
So 4,000. So 4,000 gold.
4,000 total, yeah.
So 4,000 gold would be roughly around table G.
If you wanted to buy ingredients, though, they sell ingredients.
Oh yeah, they can totally sell you guys ingredients. Any of those that you need. Let me see if I can find something. I'm going to just roll for it. Somebody roll me D100 because rather than me picking an item, I think it's just going to be better for you guys to roll on the table. And then if it's above that value, then I will just lower it down to 4,000 gold. How's that?
Okay. I rolled a 14.
Roll a 14. Let's scroll way the fuck up.
That's another divine intervention roll.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Yep. Sweet. Roll a D8.
Oh boy, okay.
Eight.
I got an 8.
I don't know that that's the best choice.
Look,
but...
8 is a good number. Okay, that's why I was rooting for it.
Let me go to this and look it up real quick. That's such a big hit, honestly. I don't know what this particular one does. Sure, awesome. So he says, well, what I do have is this very nice little sculpture. And he pulls out a little owl sculpture. Okay. And you look over at Cleary, he says, oh yes, that's where that went.
It's another one. Is it one of yours?
So what I'm hearing is he could make another.
Well, actually, no, that one was not made by me, but was made by one of my students. He says, yes,
so he can make one
surprised that you recognize this. This is several thousand years old. I'm surprised that your students made it. He says, yes, it was a long time ago when I used to take students in, and well, and he kind of sounds very old for a moment when he's talking about it. He says, they learned so many things, and they were a wonderful bunch. But they started to treat me as though they were my followers rather than my students. Disciples, if you will. Preaching my greatness around. And was like, cool, bro, we didn't ask!
Alright, what does it do?
Well, it turns into an owl.
Oh.
I won't show it to you because it can only be done once every 2 days.
Right. Like a normal
owl?
It's
a big owl.
A big one.
Yes, some might call it giant.
I mean, we can already turn into giant owls. I don't know.
Yes, but it can turn into a giant owl for 8 hours.
Okay, well, that's better than what we can do.
Doesn't wild shape scale?
I don't think time does on it.
You can stay in wild shape for a number of hours equal to half your druid level. So I can do 7-hour giant owl.
Fine, if you don't want it, totally cool. Totally fine. I guess have other ones, of course. If this one doesn't tickle your fancy, I guess I'll pull out my little elephant boy. Is that an elephant? It's made of marble.
Alright, well, I guess best item is relative. It's all subjective.
Guys, figurines of wondrous power are fucking dope. I don't know.
It is really cool, but I don't know that we actually.
Because this is an extra giant owl. You can turn into a giant owl.
Extra giant?
Like, it doesn't turn you into a giant owl. It turns into a giant owl. The figurine does. The figurine becomes a giant owl.
Gotcha.
So can Brapsy.
Okay, but they're weak.
Yeah, they're weak. They're giant owls.
We only ever use it for, like, traveling, though.
Yeah.
You use it as an extra ride for somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't want it, fine.
I mean, I would buy it just because it might be sentimental value for Cleary, so...
Oh no, Cleary's totally fine about it. Cleary saw the marble elephant, he said, that was made by a competitor. So, while you guys think about whether or not you want my super awesome, dope gift that I was ready to let you guys totally buy, let's go ahead and take our break.
Okay. We'll be
back in a few minutes, guys. We are back in business. So, you guys remember I told you it would take you a month to level up? And I told you that there would be a cap on that. Well, I think that's rude to cap it. So if you guys want to spend your whole fucking time leveling up, go for it.
Can we get 4 levels if we spend all 4 months just leveling up?
Yes, but Orin will die.
Orin will die, but you'll be level 20.
So Orin, can you go ahead and roll for me for losing a thing for this week?
Oh shit!
Everybody get ready.
No, we can't get 4 levels, so we've
just a D20, right?
Yeah, just D20.
Get ready to just kill Orin if we need to.
Wait, isn't he down to just 1 rune?
Yep.
10. You chill.
Wait,
10 again.
Oh, it's 10 you rolled. Oh god, what?
10 is what he rolled. All right. Cool. So, Archibald, what's Archibald doing? He said, if you guys want to give me a task.
Well, there's
I'll take a vacation for a week.
There's plenty of things to make. We got to build a skeleton still. Still got to build
that's what he's
skin or
he's
outer
asking.
shell.
It's like, what would you like Archibald to work on? Tell him what you would like him to work on, and he will work on that. So
probably work on the skeleton.
Cool.
I just don't know what material to make it from.
Bones, most of all.
I'm not going to be using bones.
He's like, I'm just saying, I know the shapes we need to make them. Great. I'll make you the handsomest skeleton of all.
What materials did we make it from?
That's a good question. I think it wouldn't harm us to do very light materials such as mithril. But we also want the strongest density. I don't know. Pick your poison, they're your bones.
Uranium. Pick uranium.
Would you like anything in your bones, like little buddies?
I do have zephyrite we can mix in to make it lighter.
Oh, that's a good point. What if we made you some sort of adamantium mixed with zephyrite, so you could still remain, or orichalcum?
Yeah, that could be a thing.
Give you an orichalcum skeleton.
Mixed with zephyrite to make it lighter?
Mixed with as a zephyrite alloy. Which is interesting because if we do orichalcum and then we do zephyrite, you will have a blue skeleton.
I like that.
Which would make you finally part of your stupid, ridiculous band.
I'd be the part of the Blue Man group. Yeah.
I have a lot of little organs that I need to work on. I know what
I'm blue on the inside, literally.
Very well, because we are using Vetiver's nectar as well, you're going to be a lot of blue on the inside. Probably blue on the outside. You're probably going to be blue, my friend.
That's fine.
We'll finally have another member of the Blue Man group.
I was like, cool, as long as that's chill, I'll start working on the alloy. It's going to be an original make. How much zephyrite do you have?
15 pounds?
Well, that's enough to make a small vehicle, so should be enough for you.
I would hope so.
It's pretty light.
Pretty sure
it depends. I was thinking of making a skeleton real big like.
Orange 12 foot tall. My organs are too small. What have you done?
He's like, oh wait, we have already sized organs. I'll use those as a basis. Oopsies. 15 pounds should be fine. I'll also try to add some special features to your bones.
Give him like a spoiler.
Don't worry, if all goes well, it'll be fine. That's a natural 19. Does anybody want to assist me?
I mean, I'll be helping, of course.
Of course. Well, I didn't roll better on the second one, but just say they are exquisitely made bones.
I'm gonna need some help with mine stuff. I'm gonna be working on his endocrine system this week, I think.
Ooh, I would like some of these bones breathed upon, my friend.
What day is this?
This is the week. So if you're gone working out, like leveling up the whole week, and you don't have time to come back, that's a fair assessment, and his bones will not be breathed upon.
I was just saying, like, if it's do I get 7 breaths per week, or do I just get like a breath per week?
You get 7
one per day.
Okay, I'm just asking, because time's different in here.
Yeah, you guys can go buck wild on his organs.
I am leveling, but it's your call, because I'd assume we come back.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I would say that before his bones go into his body, you certainly have time to breathe on them if you would like.
Sure. We'll see if it gets a magic roll.
Now, there are a lot of different glands and things involved in making in the endocrine system.
Yeah. The endocrine system is another one I forgot about.
Well, it's also important because of certain things that it contains.
You're talking about like the chemicals that are used for like
and specific things that I'm sure Orin would like to have.
Like testosterone.
Like testicles.
Yeah.
Like and all of the
Have you told your girlfriend that you're changing your body?
Sometime?
Well, and his adrenal gland, and his thyroid, and his pituitary gland, and his, pineal gland.
I'm gonna make his penis made out of some super crazy rigid iron.
And his pancreas.
No.
Bro's gonna be walking around with a piston.
No.
Anyway, all of these are of vital importance to him.
You have a vibrating feature?
I can put it in there.
Also, yes.
It's got 4 different modes.
I can make it so it can go through a brick wall if you want.
No.
Anyway, if anyone would like to assist me in getting his endocrine system started, that would be appreciated.
Well, not this week. This week I made bones. Did you breathe for the bones?
Yeah, I was a 52.
52. So, no magic added to the bones, but you did get.
Roxy wants to assist me with the endocrine system. That would be great.
Okay, is that what you're working on this week? Is the endocrine system?
Yeah, that's what Grim's gonna work on.
Okay, so as we're starting our next week, which is because you were working out, so this is all right. Let's officially move on to week 4.
Oh, I thought we were moving on. Sorry,
this was just the week.
That was the end of week 3. Like getting Egelman.
I thought that was us moving on.
That was Egelman setting up week 3. So he got the bones. We'll start week 4 now. Week 4.
In which Grim is working on the endocrine system.
After Egelman came, Rapsy is pulling Orin aside at night. Can we talk?
Of course. Always.
After starting this endeavor and hearing all of the risks that it entails, darling, I'm so worried.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried too. But even if we did the whole thing with your divine stuff, that's only a temporary measure. That doesn't guarantee that I would have a life afterwards or anything.
I'm not saying we have to stop this either. But I wish you would let me try that first.
I just don't know if it's necessary. If I can give you back your afterlife by doing this, I would prefer to do that.
We're not guaranteed an afterlife anyway. If Northot wins...
But at least this way you have the option. There's a chance. The other way, there is 0 chance.
I don't need an afterlife. As long as I know that I have done all in my power to protect those I love. It would be protecting you, everyone else in the group, as well as my daughter and my wife. I may not have an afterlife, but I would be at peace, knowing I have done that. If we continue down this path, if you do not let me do what I can, and we fail, I will never know peace.
What makes you think I would be able to find peace if you did this for me? Knowing you've given it everything for me, And I can't do anything in return to repay you.
You have done everything. You are my boy. You saved me when I was lost. This is me repaying you. This is what I am. I do not want you to ever feel guilt over this. To feel that you are indebted to me. This is just a mother's love.
Orin's just gonna kneel down, hold Bropsy by the face, and be like, there is never enough I can do to repay what you have already done for me. If I can prevent you from losing this afterlife with your loved ones, I'm going to try.
What you can do for me is to live. You can be my legacy. That's all a parent ever wants.
You already have a legacy.
That's being put in danger as we speak.
Yep, we're all in danger. But if we can pull this off, we got a lot of bright people here. I think it will be better in the long run. But your way is also a backup. There's still time for that.
Only now, right? We can't do it after.
Well, after, it wouldn't be necessary, because we won't need the runes.
And if you let me do this first, you can have a secondary body that we can revive you with. If I do this first, we have 2 layers of defense.
My only real concern is if we do this now, will it be that much more difficult to separate the souls? Because the binding will be that much more stronger. Right now, it's really weak, and might be our best chance at separating them. But if we complete all the runes again and strengthen that binding, I don't know how that will affect everything.
Well, we don't have to transfer you into the other body yet. I'm sure the runes would continue to weaken. I also want to have faith in what your father planned.
I wish I knew what his plans were. If he did this to actually stop Norththought, or out of a selfish desire to see his son again. But I can't even ask him.
Perhaps after doing the ritual, I would know.
I just feel like this is a huge thing. And there's just so much pressure on me right now.
I'm sorry, my boy. I do not want to cause more pressure for you.
I am struggling. internally and externally. This is a lot to deal with.
I know. I wish I could take all of it off your shoulders. But we're in this together, no matter what. She hugs you.
I'll just be like, maybe Mitnir can help get another temporary rune or something. That's a little more defense. Just so the next time it's not the final time. It'll buy us more time, at least.
We're playing it so dangerously close.
Yep. Time is definitely not on our side.
Please think about it.
Oh, believe me, I'm thinking about it all the time.
Okay.
We'll talk to Mitnir.
Okay.
And whatever night that happened, we probably just cuddle up and fall asleep.
Alrighty. So, as that goes through, week 3 ends. And you guys begin work on week 4, sometimes hesitating and always stressed. What would everybody like to do this week? Obviously, we've got the endocrine system. It's being worked on by Grim. Did you roll for that yet?
29.
29.
Dropsy assisting?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is more complicated to make than just... This is the sort of thing where you are getting the proteins and the hormones worked in. Are you just using organic, or are you going with like some sort of like a release device for hormones?
I think there's just so many different pieces. I think these all kind of have to be organic because they're each kind of they're all such different things that do different things.
That's why it's going to take a longer than just... This is going to take all of your time. This is not going to be...
No, I know. Yeah, like that's why I'm using just this whole week just
on the endocrine. Yep. All right. So
like,
I will
he's
say
not going
that
to be able
with
to go
that,
out and do anything else.
You are both going to be completely occupied during this time, but you will be able to complete the endocrine system, and it will be, I will say, well made. It is incredibly complicated, and it is a lot of chemistry more than anything else.
But you will have.
But you're both very
system.
well. You're both very well acquainted with a lot of alchemical procedures. You have done a lot of work at Selindor Academy to get good at it, and so you do an incredible job. Yep. Now I will say, if you're breathing on the endocrine system, it's gonna be eat like, you know, you're like, you want to breathe on his balls. I mean,
so many different. You're gonna breathe on his balls.
I was gonna say, out of like the personal sense, he's just like, you want me to do what?
Don't tell him what it is, because it doesn't.
If you were gonna breathe on any part of his endocrine system, honestly, I would say breathe on his like pituitary gland or something.
You gotta breathe on the balls. He can make super babies.
Oh
honestly, without him breathing on your balls, I don't think you can make any babies. Even with a well-made endocrine system, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be fertile after building this body out of mishmash. Who knows? I mean, you basically make a Frankenstein here. You need a little bit of a divine touch to make that thing work again. Anyways, it's fine. You definitely chemically have everything doing what it should be doing. That is a good week's work for the two of you. And that puts us at Orin. What would you like to be working on during this time?
Come on, Mitnir, let me be a daddy. Breathe on him.
He spends an entire week convincing Gagnor to breathe on his balls.
All he does every day. He asks.
Could be a better argument than that.
How did we get here?
I don't know.
This is the nitty gritty of building a person.
You know, maybe if you accept Invaruna's offer and receive whatever Eldritch God they're offering, that will be the piece that's missing, and you'll be able to.
It could be.
I know at the beginning of the week I will talk to Metnir about trying to get a temporary rune on me. You did it before. We could try it again.
I mean, yeah. I didn't want to say this, but last time I kind of fell asleep while I was doing it.
Well, whatever you did, it worked. I feel like you're better with it now, though. You've done more, right?
Well, yeah.
She pats him on the shoulder and gives guidance.
We just need to decide, like, what ink to use this time. I
What
think.
did you use last time?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Or if you want, like, a specialty ink, I don't know. Oh.
I don't know. What do we got? I know we got Aquam. We could use some of that.
Cleary hasn't done any work for the entire month so far.
What a bum.
He just didn't do anything last week.
No, he didn't do anything last week. What he could have worked on something last week. I'm gonna say that he assisted in something. He assisted Archibald.
He did assist me the one week.
Yeah, he did stuff last time we played.
Yes. Cleary's like, I could certainly help you with getting the runes correct. I think I've studied the runes that have disappeared enough that we could replicate it, artistically speaking. But what would work? If anything, I think what you accomplished was based on your own form of divinity. If anything, I think leaning into whatever is closest to your source is the best thing you could possibly do to make it work. But didn't we learn that you're like weird dragon? Something. I'm not sure we can find something that's you other than grinding up a bit of your own scale.
I guess that's possible. We have. Right, it kind of looks at the other dragon scale vials and's like.
It's certainly possible, but it would require removing a piece from yourself, which might leave you vulnerable. I don't know how dragons work. And I know that the reverse scale of a dragon, when they remove one, is they're in their armor and all the stories, right?
It does grow back. You know, kind of like lizards, right? We shed, sort of, kind of. It's not the exact same.
Sure. I did not spent a lot of time on Dragonborn anatomy. But yes, if you want to try it, that would be my recommendation, although a bit macabre. You'd have a piece of Mitnir in you.
Just kind of looks at her.
I mean, it'll be in this body. Not
a piece of you in me, and then breathe on my balls. Sorry.
It was right there. Oh.
I mean, or if we don't want, well, we could, yeah. We could try either way. I don't know that it'll work.
Well, I can do the autistic work if you want to spend the time. I could actually administer the tattoo and then be up to your breath to get it done.
Yeah, you could do the breath tonight when you get back.
And I can spend time over the week doing it so that it doesn't interfere with your work. Just basically you have to give me your evenings.
I guess you'll spend some time to see if there's any loose scales, like getting ready to shed.
I mean, those scales are pretty much in on your body. Yeah. I mean, like, you're gonna have to rip one off. You're gonna have to like basically take a knife and.
Grim's got that knife that like cuts anything.
You could use the soul knife, yeah.
Yeah.
You could use the soul knife.
That'll
to get
put a
some
piece of your soul in it too.
Yeah, you can insult.
That's very
divine.
But
I'm not sure we want to put a piece of my soul into this body we're going to try and dispose of.
Now we're gonna have 3 different souls.
More souls into the
Light
body.
splitter. Light splitter can cut it.
Light splitter does not cut organic material.
Oh, our scale. Okay.
I mean, I can just use
yes. Are you saying that Minier's not organic?
Are his scales? I don't know.
I mean, technically,
it's part
the
of
other
his
ones
body.
were diamonds, like amethysts and stuff.
But they were like
they're gem
different
dragons.
dragons.
I get it.
Different dragons.
They're gemstone dragons.
I mean, I guess maybe it'll take some time and just use the tattoo. It's just still just a knife and just sit there and like
go ahead.
cut
Go
off
ahead and make me a
the
Constitution saving throw. I guess.
It's 22.
22. Yeah, so you pull this thing off and it bleeds. Like it really bleeds. Like you can see like blood coming out as you pull it off. And I don't know if if Minier's ever actually just removed a healthy scale before, but it's
not intentionally.
Like,
so
it's skinning yourself. You know, it's skinning yourself, but worse because it's just so hard and rigid. It's like pulling off a nail. It's not a good time. But you do get it off, and then you bloody hand it over to Cleary, who just goes, I wish sometime in my millennia alive I were one day going to be as tough as you, Minya. Then I will know I've truly grown up.
Minier just kind of like winces, just like, and just leaves. Like,
yeah, so he takes it and he gets it prepared, and then he will attempt to do that during his time. And for his roll, he gets pretty well done. So it's going to take him the whole week to get it done, mostly, but he's going to be popping in and out, and he's going to do pretty much an exact replica of it. Go ahead and give me that breath roll.
It's a 70 or 67. So still in between.
So he gets the tattoo on your body by the end of the week. It does not seem to glow like the others do, even when breathed upon. But we will see.
He could try each day.
That's true. This is the end of that's sort of like that would, we can work on that next week potentially, but for this week that's what he does. What part are you working on this week, Warren?
I was thinking, well, let's see, what do I got? I got to do like the skin or outer shell still. And then I don't know.
Although I feel like you kind of have to do that once everything's put together, right?
I'm not sure what else internally I can make. Like, that isn't going to be organic.
So I will say that currently at this point, most of you is split up into several different parts and in multiple like tubes. Like there's just tubs filled with your endocrine system, like different pieces of your endocrine system, different, like your heart is like currently like set up into like your vascular system you need to work on, nervous system you need to work on. Nervous system may be one of the most difficult ones to pull off. And honestly, I think that in your current state, you could begin, because the bones are there, constructing a little bit of it. Muscle tissue hasn't been decided how you guys are going to go about creating muscle tissue, what sort of material you want to use for that. But you can start laying the groundwork of positioning. You can't like get the organs in until the rest of it's ready to go, but you can sort of like get the framework going and begin attaching bits and pieces, maybe start some circuitry to it. And then if there's anything like exterior wise, like do you want a fully robotic arm at all or anything like that? There's things like that you could begin working on or making as well.
I feel like you could probably do the vascular system.
You could easily do a vascular system with tubing. Would be more resistant than actual veins. and would
especially
still be able
because
to
it's going to have to connect to some artificial organs.
Yeah,
it's also going to be pumping the nectar stuff, right?
Yeah, Vetiva's nectar. So an aquam-based vascular system does sound like a good idea.
Okay, I'll work on that.
The biggest thing on that is actually going to be intelligence plus proficiency on that one. Again, there's going to be some arcana involved in getting it to do this thing. So give me an arcana check, actually. When you're getting Theodore St. Chortle's you've gotten Theodore St. Chortle's help, so you're going to do advantage +5.
Okay.
Because he is an expert in Aquam.
Like, I think Grim can probably work on.
So that would be 23.
No. 23?
Yeah, because I'm not proficient in Arcana.
Word. So with a 23, you are able to get the vascular system done. It seems to work well enough, but until you have everything connected to it, you're not really sure. You get the groundwork for it, so you'll still have to make another roll when you put everything together. But for right now, it seems like you're ready to proceed with that part. During this week, you get together the materials, and you map it out well enough that you think you're going to be able to get blood to where not blood, but Vetiva's nectar to wherever you need it. The thing about growing new muscle, Grim, is you found that unless there's some form of stimulation or some sort of way to strengthen it, growing new muscle, it's like a newborn baby, having to teach it all over again. Whereas there might be ways to use muscle from other living creatures, like transplant. You can also potentially make it out of some sort of synthetic material, or just run on some other form of magic itself, right? Just energy that pulls off of the core, causing it to like condense and contain enough energy from his core to basically like power his muscles. So you could go scientific with it, you could go biological with it, you could go monster making with it. There are ways to do this, but it is important to his potential strength stat later what you would do, and dexterity, what you would do with it.
I think we would probably have to, as we were growing them, we could probably do some kind of stimulation.
That's a week 5 project, though, right?
Yeah, that's not a right now thing. And it would probably take time, because if you were going to grow them, I think you would, because you could do it you would just have to grow them and train them, and you'd probably want to do it at the same time that you, maybe after the nervous system's built.
Hard to say, because again, you pretty much have to kind of put things together, and then some of them you'll have to grow on top of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like at a certain point, you're going to have to start putting things together, and deciding when that is going to be a crucial part, because a lot of these organs are going to need to still be living, and you're probably going to be putting the whole thing in the big tank to keep it. Well, the organs
we'll have
time
to we'll have time to grow. We'll have time to, I think, to strengthen it. Like, we could grow a muscular system and then strengthen it over time.
I mean, you it just depends on like how you want to do that. If you want to do it based off of
make a giant TENS unit.
Yeah, I mean, because I think we'll with the technology and stuff that we have, I think we could probably find it. I mean, we could do like I do muscle stim and therapy, right? Like we could do that, right, to his whole body probably, right? Mm-hmm. And stimulate muscles and different in a way while growing it to train it, right? I don't know. We'll figure it out. That's a next week problem.
That's a next week problem. Mitnir, what are you doing?
Week 3 training.
Week 3 training. Bropsy's working on the endocrine system. Seti?
So once again, night times, just inner realm training, mind over matter, dream shaping. Days, I think I want to start researching. Boy, I want to work on the Enveruna problem. So one front of that is becoming champions and learning what the council's plan is and seeing if it's better. Second part of that, I think, I just want to do some research on the different eldritch gods, and I guess specifically she would be like keeping a special eye out for Trinembra. Anything I can learn that we don't already know about what's out there and about far realm travel.
Go ahead and make me an investigation check.
Said he know all the different ones that have been offered to us.
I do have it written down somewhere. Those would be the ones I would be focusing on.
Okay, I didn't know if she just knew all of the ones that have been offered to us, or if she just knew like Trinembra.
That's a 19.
The 19, you don't really learn anything new about Trinembra. If you're talking about the ones that were sort of offered, and when I say offered, they're like, you might be a good candidate for this one. They were like, let's go, this is you.
Basically all the ones that got named at our meeting with Pedo.
Yeah. So there was information about let's see here. That's already taken. That was already taken. Here we go. Nimbaloth was suggested for Grim. Olkoth was suggested for Orin. Trinembra was the last one. So it was just those three. So Olkoth, there have always been, like, the whispers of it is that he masquerades as like other deities, basically. He will like trick people into thinking that he is their god come, to answerer of prayers. He only really appears when somebody has iconography nearby that he can defile and basically overtake. He is a strange far realm antichrist. He is not exactly known as like their messiah or anything like that. He just has a lot of the same characteristics that the Antichrist does, just like charisma, just leading people to their own thing, right? But basically, he is the god of the celestial arcs, is what he is known as. And typically when they find him in the original lore, it's like in a Virgin Mary statue. Mm-hmm. He will use that as like a conduit to come into reality. Okay. But obviously that's not a thing in D&D, but that's kind of like his shtick.
Yeah, it's similar, yeah.
Yeah. Trinembra, obviously you don't learn anything new. But Nimbaloth, like, you just know that their whole thing is empty deaths, devouring souls, swamps, ghosts, despair, just real nasty stuff from Nimbaloth.
I would also want to learn more about the ones that the members of Enveruna have already begun to try to assimilate. Anything new about Azathoth or Yog-Sothoth or
there's not a whole lot of information. There's not a whole lot of information about them. They're known as like just they don't really know. They're just like eldritch entities, and everything about the Far Realm is so strange and unknown, and also taboo in the sense that pretty much every well-meaning individual of the material plane or otherwise that would have ever written a book. Nobody's siding with these things. Nothing is written from the perspective of somebody who is familiar with, in like an intimate way, like a denizen of. None of them have written a book that is like to be found and to understand what it's like there. Mm-hmm. Anybody that has gone there has come back malformed, and they ain't about writing books. Mm-hmm.
Just gibberish.
Well, it's more like they're like, I'm a mind flayer type thing now, or much, much worse. Yeah. And my whole shtick is now eating brains / people / things. It's all about consumption at that point. Yeah. Most of them go insane. Yeah. So that's the biggest thing. Some people have been said to go insane just by viewing image of the far realm.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't risk it. I decide what side he would do. I think I need to talk to the group first. So yeah, we'll just say, yeah, I try to dig up what I can that way, the good old-fashioned way.
Yep, and I mean, you're not able to really learn any particularly new information, but I guess you would consider that still another training week, basically, if that's what you're doing. Okay. Cool. Does that cover everybody except Archibald? What do you want me to work on?
Did it go okay with the rune that Cleary was working on for Orin? Or did we not find it?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, the rune's there, but it's not active.
Yeah, it's just like he's carved a rune, but it doesn't seem to have like the same glow to it that the other one. It's not like you can really tell.
It doesn't have the juju.
Doesn't seem to have the juju.
Gotcha. Okay. I just missed that note.
Do I need to put like an order in with the Blackened Elders for some more materials?
If you want to.
Do we have money? I don't have money. I spent all my money.
How much money?
Yeah, speaking of which, I'm pretty sure that people were still getting Aquam, right?
Oh, do we still need it?
Did you guys stop collecting Aquam?
Do we still need it?
We haven't got any in the weeks 3, 4.
Past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten any.
Just did the first 2 weeks.
I mean, if I can squeeze that in, I'll do it. We could say, Eagleman, go get Aquam this week.
That's what you guys want to do with Eagleman. You can certainly...
Seems like a waste.
Yeah, no, that's a waste of Eagleman.
What do you guys want Eagleman to work on this week?
Well, you still need a brain and nerves. You need lots of things.
Yeah, I need nervous system, brain. I think we sort of have an idea for the muscle system.
Yeah, I think with the muscular system, I think it needs to be made of flesh at the very least, just because it needs to be able to grow and heal. Because your muscles need to be able to be damaged and repaired.
The other thing is that because Vedavez Nectar works on it works on both repairing Aquam and repairing living flesh. So whereas it may not be able to grow the same way, it would repair itself the same way. It would still recover.
But if you wanted to get stronger physically, I think that's more of a flesh type of thing.
Could we hang on? Sorry.
With lactic acid and
Yeah, if you want to get stronger the normal way, then yes, but you could also just build something that's strong enough that you never need to work out again in your life.
That's true. Yeah, I mean,
so it's entirely up to you.
It's up to you. Yeah.
Could we have asked Archibald for his thoughts on Orin's rune? To see if that was something that he would be able to help with, and maybe...
I'm not one for divinity, bro.
Okay.
Well, what about the nervous system? So it needs to send like impulses, right? Could that be Aquam based?
Sure. It could be Aquam based. It could be all kinds of different forms of materials would react appropriately. Just as it needs to be a good conductor, for sure. We could do a circuit based if you want to. We could also make it so you could control the amount of pain you're capable of feeling and pleasure.
You can make it silver based.
Thinking we'd do something like fiber optic cable out of Aquam.
I mean, I don't know what a fiber optic cable is, but I could probably make a some sort of information in sending receiving device out of cables. Do we want to go cables? It would certainly be strong.
Remember, it needs to be thin enough to fit in all your little bits and pieces.
He's gonna be real bulky. He's like, no, not actual cables. I mean, we're gonna do small things. I have a few thoughts for this. Give me a chance to experiment.
Take the week. Play around with it.
In terms of conductive metals, silver's the best conductor. But I don't know what silver does relative to, like, flesh and everything.
I mean, you're basing that off real world physics, though? Because, like,
yeah.
Mithril and Orichalcum and Magisteel aren't real, but they could be better conductors, right? We don't know.
They could be.
Magically conducting, nothing beats Mithril for conducting magic. But when it comes to other things, Magisteel is great for making circuits. I would say more than anything else, because it is the most programmable metal. So I recommend perhaps a 2-layered device. We do hard circuits that run through and remain protective, making it so that if someone were to, let's say, try to slash your wrist to cut off your nerve endings and make it so you can control it, you would have a small casing of Magisteel covering what is essentially very tender, small tendrils of netted and crystallized, what's it called? Venomous nectar. Aquam, basically, but done in this specific way. If we crystallize it, which I've seen people doing, it will act as a conductor that hits every single point along its way. Basically create an interior net that happens within each of the individual tubings.
Yeah, see, Chortle's an expert with the crystallization.
From there, the crystallization should be able to spread into the flesh and branch out sort of like a little spider web. That way, in the way that it sort of cracks along and should grow out, should be able to feel just about everything along the path. But, it may not feel the same as normal bodies. I haven't done a lot of studying of, specific systems of the body such as this. But it would make you hardy.
Hardy and functional. It's good things.
Oh, well, if nobody else has a problem with that, I made it.
Can get Saint Chortle to help with that one.
It is
He's the
well made.
Crystallized guy, right?
Yes, it's well made. Not exquisite, but well made.
But still good. And then we could always try a breath. That was nervous system.
Would you like that or on the tattoo?
I mean, you can do it each day. The tattoo's made, so you have 7 days. You can.
So as he's getting like the nervous system like ready and netted and everything like that, he's like, we need to get the muscles put in, but I can't do this. Not truly. It needs to connect and grow into the flesh, but I have it made. Next thing we need to do is going to be the hardest, and that is muscle. We need to determine if we're going to go an organic route, if we're going to go some sort of hybrid creature route, or if we're going to go mechanical or, well, synthetic.
So Grim can definitely work on the muscles the next week for sure.
All right, cool.
Yep.
Well, next week it is then. Let's go. Go ahead and give me a roll, Orin. D20.
Because this week he's already booked with the endocrine system.
No pressure. Uh-oh. That's a 2.
A 2. Well, you all watch as Orin's rune begins to blink out. However, in the moment, it seems that the false one blinks out instead.
So we did that just in time.
Lauren, please. Please. I can't do this. I can't take this stress.
Well, guess we'll just have to keep using one of
Mitner's
scales every week.
Oh.
Mitner, you're going to be a wicked dragon by the end of this.
I can't lose you.
Take that from your chin so it looks like you have a soul patch.
Week 5.
Yeah, perhaps it's just a puddle on the floor.
It's week 5 of the campaign, y'all.
Doing the anime crying where the tears are flying out.
All right, so we're going to start with Grim. You're making muscle?
Yes, but is there any kind of muscle we want to try and incorporate into this?
So that's what I'm trying to find out. So at this point, you guys are at assembly phase. In order to grow the muscle, you need it to grow onto the skeleton.
Yeah.
You need to grow onto everything else, and you need to be able to get the nerve endings in position so that they integrate in the muscle during the growth process, so that they work together. You need to get everything else into position so that the muscle grows around, protects it, and keeps it in position. You also need to slowly start filling this thing with Vetiva's nectar. So to do that, you guys, it's basically construction time. Somebody will need to spend the week being the person who is in charge of just putting everything together. And during that time, they can mess up and damage organs. So who would you like to be in charge of putting together the body proper? Okay.
I assume that's going to be like...
And as we all know, raising your hand makes you officially the person in charge.
I assume that's going to be medical based.
I would vote for like putting...
What's the role going to be? Medicine? Like,
is it going to be medicine? Is it going to be dexterity? Is it going to be intelligence?
I mean, like, Grim's going to be building muscle all week. Is he even able to do that while he's building muscle?
No, he's going to have to come in. He's going to be coming in, and he's going to be basically adding the stem cells into like a controlled areas, and like using the proper magic and regents to like get the muscle to grow in strands basically onto this body. So you're just like one at a time, just basically growing muscle strands. It's basically, it's almost like you're drawing it with magic and just allowing the small amount of cells to then form. And it takes like maybe 10 to 20 minutes per strand of muscle, and you need like thousands, if not millions. So you're going.
Yeah. Okay. So Grim is not going to be the one to be able to put everything together.
Yeah, you can't be the one putting together if you're doing muscle. No.
I almost want to say like put Bropsy in charge for the medicine, and then have Cleary assist because he's got like delicate sculptor's hands. And like,
hey, I have a 20 dex.
I would say is I would put different people in charge of different things, right?
I assume I'm going to be working on the actual body, like outer shell.
So
all of this is going into.
But that's like the last stage, right?
Yeah, we don't need that until after we've got
until you've got the inside. Like unless you're doing like metal as your outer thing, and then you're building a cage around. Oh, you're doing metal on the entire outside?
Yeah.
But like
your girlfriend's never gonna cuddle you.
Kind of thing?
Hey, if it's fire resistant, she'll be fine with it.
Yeah, that's the question.
I forgot that she was fire. Okay then.
I can't cuddle her right now without melting, so you know.
I take back what I said.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Like, are you gonna be like you looking like robot up in here, or are you trying to do like some sort of more organic looking metallic, or like what are you going for here?
Just think of like Vision from Marvel.
Okay, yeah. So you're going more.
It's biomechanical, like it's all mechanical but looks biological type of deal.
Cool.
So this is going to be a very slow process.
Yeah, this is going to be a slow process. So yeah, but you will need to do that last, because you're basically gonna have to build that around it if in order for it to fit everything and like house it properly. It's gonna be somewhere akin to basically firing small amounts of or basically like replacing as skin grows, like the cells and manipulating them so that they grow as like an alloy instead. This is gonna be like a crazy, like you're gonna be doing like legit alchemy, not like potion mixing alchemy, but like alchemy of changing one substance to another.
Like metallurgy or whatever that's what's called.
Yeah, you're going to be doing some wicked stuff here, which I think is a little bit outside of your realm of expertise. Like specifically, you don't do that very often, but you do know somebody who knows exactly how to grow this sort of metallic flesh, and that would be Primus.
Yeah.
Primus literally has the same exact kind of flesh you're talking about. It is bionic flesh. It is both metal and living flesh, and it is hardy and it is good, and you've seen it, and that is the goal you have in mind. But I'm not entirely sure you know how to make it.
Call for the recipe.
If Dropsy can assist me in developing the initial cultures for the muscles, like the initial cells, and then I can just apply them.
Mm-hmm.
Like if she can help me start them before I apply them.
I mean, if you're just looking for assistance, then
yeah, I'm just looking for assistance in getting it started so that they're growing well, and then that way.
Sure. Yeah, all right.
So I have advantage on the initial roll.
That would be on her like first day, sure.
Just
like if you're willing to give me the first day for it, then
sure.
If you just want to help me grow the initial ones, yeah.
All right, so go ahead.
I'm going where I am needed.
So that's another 29 then. 29 is a lot better than 20. So
yeah, you get the cultures ready. It seems like you know exactly how this is going to work, and it's up to you whether or not you want to splice in some fungus.
Well, it depends on if there's a. I'm trying to think of what funguses. I wish I knew more about funguses, huh?
Well, you're aware of something called zirkwood, which is a type of fungus that is used to make furniture. It's incredibly hard, and
but it's flexible enough to be able to? Like it's hard.
There's lots of different types. I'm just saying there's lots of things you could use to splice into muscle that could do some weird shit. So
I do know that beefsteak mushrooms are incredibly protein dense. They're more protein dense than meat.
So do you want to try that? Maybe like splicing in something that's like so high in protein, like that it legitimately like creates a denser muscle mass, like because of the way that it processes protein.
Yeah, something like that might be because like.
Cool, because you rolled high enough to do it. Yes, you have created what we're gonna call beefcake muscles.
just denser than normal muscles. Yeah, because beefsteak muscles. Beefsteak muscles. Beefsteak mushrooms they're a type of mushroom. When you squeeze them, they actually like bleed red. But they take a really long time to grow. But they actually have more protein per volume than actual red meat.
There you go.
But they're just really hard to grow.
Or you've got
really
beefsteak mushrooms.
Mussels.
Beefsteak mussels. So they're like half like mussels like grown from your dad mixed with beefsteak mushrooms in a weird sort of thing. So like,
but those type of mushrooms are actually like they resemble like very much resemble meat.
Dense.
They're just really dense.
Yeah, so you're gonna have incredibly dense muscles from that. Does anybody you want to breathe on anything, Mitnir, from that or no? It's up to you.
I don't think anything there particularly needs it.
Cool. Awesome. So with that, what is the next person want to do? Propsy, are you assisting just all around town, or is there anything specific you want to do yourself? Did you want to do any leveling up?
Begging to Orin to let me do the... That's about it. I'll level up if no one needs assistance.
All right, so that would be your second week of leveling up, I believe, right? Or is it your third?
I believe that's
Mitnir. What about you?
Without any specific tasks, I'm gonna spend most of the week just finishing that level.
Cool.
And he's gonna start doing like morning Tai Chi, like from the manual he did before. He's just going out on where we fought the monster sculpture, and just in the mornings, just doing that.
Yeah, nice. Cool. So you level up. That is what happens with you. Seti? You muted.
Yeah, so keep training. Damn. I do want to note that I'm no. Time is funny. I had ideas, but I'm like, it's too early. I just talked to those people.
Yeah, I just called to those people
2 days ago.
Yeah. It wasn't even yesterday for them, and it wasn't 2 days ago for them.
It's still the same day.
It was a few hours ago.
Yeah. I do want to talk to my dad. Both for furthering my training, like maybe he can teach me a little bit about the weave and what it's actually like being in his shoes.
Okay.
And then I also want to, pitch at myself as champion for the Feywild or any other plane he thinks I might be a good fit for that would be looking for a champion.
So basically, you try to talk to your dad a little bit. Go ahead and make me a persuasion check with disadvantage because it is very difficult to persuade your father of anything.
My pitch is basically that I know things that I can't talk about, and it would be very helpful if I knew more things so that I can make an informed decision.
Okay.
That's still 28.
28? Yeah. He says, I understand what you mean now. Very well. I will talk to your sisters. If they are willing to trust you and retract their submitted candidates, then you will be selected. I will speak with them, but this will take time, as I know you are moving in your own time. Perhaps I shall get you an answer before the end. But
that would be great.
Quickly.
But yeah. Okay. Thanks.
I noticed that you're getting stronger. That's good. While I'm there, I will speak with your sister, since it seems that you are almost ready to receive her fracture.
Yes. Yes, that would be very helpful too. Yes, thank you.
I will broach the subject when we speak. I will try to make her the first of your sisters I communicate with, but as you know, Hyacinth is stuck to me like some sort of petty little bug. Whatever it is that you call pets. Bugs, right? Well,
not usually, but yes, I get what you're saying.
Very well. I wish you the best, child. Keep growing stronger, and good luck with your project.
Any advice?
And he looks at you for a second, he says, You've seen me fail to open a door.
Right.
Use that as a reference point for my technological savvy. Goodbye.
North hut behind the door. They won't be able to get out.
Literally what we did. Literally what they did. There's fucking literally a door that keeps North hut locked away.
Yeah.
So
doors are the true villains of every D&D campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I guess basically you spend the week leveling, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so is that 3 or 4?
That's 3 for me.
3 for you. Okay. Oren, did you decide what part you're working on? Because you can't do the skin until the end, and you're still a little fuzzy on how it's going to work. Skin, quote unquote, the exterior.
I mean, the only other thing is the brain, and I don't know if that's something I can do.
Yeah, so you could just be in charge of putting everything together if you want. Like, you're the one who's like, putting things where they need to go. Like, this is your body, It's like you could be in charge of. All right, so you are officially in charge of constructing your own body. So at the moment, you were the one putting all the pieces together, like getting the organs where they need to go, using your hands to sort of fuse little sections of metal and flesh to sort of grip to itself and accept it as it is. Vedova's Nectar is helping tremendously, and at this point, because you guys are using the main tank, which you have gotten permission to do, I'm just going to skip over that. You also now have the assistance of the venerable Professor Mercule. Good show there. You've been working quite hard, haven't you? Look at this very peculiar creature. I cannot wait to see what we can create with it. Would you like any of our new organs inside?
New organs? What?
Of course, that is our most recent project. We've recently finished growing something very akin to a secondary heart.
I mean, we got this one.
Oh, yes, very interesting. Well, of course, we have other things as well. But, it just depends on if you want any special designer organs inside of you. Like this one, for instance. It produces electricity similar to an eel.
How big is it?
Well, basically, you wouldn't be able to have these. And he points to a couple of your, adrenal glands. And he's just like...
No, I think I'll keep what I have.
Instead, you'd be a bit supercharged, as it were.
Well, I'm already going to be kind of celestial charged, so I think I'm good.
I see, very well. Oh, in that case, I will simply help you put this on that and make sure that you don't break my tank. And so, he's, helping you use to manipulate it and helping you with the process. Basically what you're doing is more telling people what to do and then getting in for those little nitty-gritties you need to do. But it is hard. It is stressful. Go ahead and make me... This is going to be weird, but go ahead and make me charisma with... This is a leadership role. With I will give you proficiency.
I'm over here just imagining it's 3 or 4 different car manufacturers putting together a car, and they're like, this one needs a hex wrench, that one needs a screwdriver. Like, who did this?
It's just a straight roll with proficiency.
It's a D20 with proficiency and charisma. Unless your charisma's 10.
It's garbage. That's a 10 total.
10 total. You have a hard time getting people to kind of do what you want them to do. And somewhere along this process, your adrenal glands are in fact replaced with a new vestigial organ against your will.
My charisma is my worst stat.
Yeah. So you do now have some sort of experimental organ added into your body. I'm not going to say it's your adrenal glands because you especially said not to. Instead, we're gonna find a way to. I'm gonna make a list, and then I'll have you roll later, and you're gonna have an extra organ in your body that you don't know what it does until later. That's gonna be the cost of this. But you're able to get things more or less to the next stage.
Congratulations, you got an appendix.
What is Archibald doing during this time?
Hopefully, maybe working. Do you want him working on a brain? Is that what you want him doing? Though if he works on a brain, it's going to be pretty much entirely mechanical.
Yeah, I don't know how we want to do the brain. I don't know.
I mean, it's your brain, bro.
You can't exactly just grow a brain, though. That's not something you can just grow.
Minion delivers a large rock at some point.
It's certainly difficult to grow a brain. It is the most complicated thing.
We're probably gonna have to go mechanical / scientific road.
Yeah.
But I don't think it could be fully clockwork. That's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Because you gotta basically build a whole little nervous system in there. And blood vessels or blood flow. Would it be the nectar flow?
I mean, yeah, the vascular system is going to connect to the brain as well. And then you have to have all the other stuff connect to it, not to mention the eyes. I'm sure you'd love to see.
Vision would be wonderful. Yeah.
Then all the senses that are going to have to be locked into that thing.
I mean, we still have to build him. You know, all that mouth and nose.
I mean, that's like
part of the outer shell.
The bone. He's already created the skull, right? Eyes.
No, I know, but like he still needs like
bones,
a tongue.
You've already got the teeth. You've already got all that stuff. Yeah. Tongue is one that will grow. That you'll either make in a.
That's a muscle, I guess. Later. Yeah.
That one's like a muscle, very strong muscle, in fact. So you could probably grow that one, but getting it to taste things is a little bit more difficult. So that's a time.
Super special body, no taste, sees in black and white, barely feels anything.
Yeah, I mean, this is not an easy thing to do, guys. So
this is the first thing of its kind. So
yeah. Well, I mean, Warforged have been made before, but trying to make a body like this has never been done before, certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as week 5 is more or less coming to a close, you guys say, Archibald, or actually, as week 5 rolls around, you say, Archibald, can you make us a brain? And Archibald says, oh, I'll tell you what, I really want to get started on my project. I have been planning your brain like you would not believe. It's going to be full of all kinds of fun stuff. I'll show you when I have a prototype.
Okay.
That he has the passion
natural
for it.
19 and a natural 17. Good show.
It's always a good thing when somebody's passionate about a project. You know, that means it's usually good.
So after the week is done, Archibald says, I'm not done yet, but I'll show you what I have. It's going to take him 2 weeks to make your brain, at least. And he says, look at this. And he's got like the undershell, which is like a bunch of what look like chips and discs and crystals. And it's almost like just like a base of the brain. He says, I'm basically working from the cerebral cortex out.
Looks pretty cool.
Yes. There may be some side effects. Not entirely sure when I'm done. I was a little bit tempted to go with a little bit of a Far Realm influence because they are really good at growing brains. But then I knew that's what you were fighting against. So we're going the the biosynthetic route here. Once I get all the cogs and crystals in place, we're gonna grow you some crazy shit, my dude.
At least it wasn't a potato.
It's like, cool. Well, good stuff. And that's what he works on for week 5.
Grim's just like muscle strand.
Yep, he's basically just like printing muscle strands, like one at a time. And each one takes him like 10 or 20 minutes, so he's just like... It's so long.
Like icing, like...
Yeah, that's basically what it's like. But it's like, it takes so much longer because like, it's a whole process. Yeah. You have to like, there's like, you constantly have to like apply like little like bits of venomous nectar to keep the cells like alive while you're going until like the full strand's complete. It's wild. It's a whole time. But yeah, he's sitting there with like just basically doing to the tub what they did with the Sanisphere, and he's got like his arms like inside, and he's just like literally just working on it through the wall. Just you can see his face is pressed against the glass, and his arms are like all the way in, just messing with the body, adding muscle strands onto it.
I just remembered who I needed to call this week. Can I just say that with Mitnir present, I put in a call to Ord to see how he felt about potentially making us some kind of cage that could contain a very, very dangerous avatar.
So you call Ord and he says, "Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I could. I obviously could. But unfortunately, I don't know if they've got time to.
Well, that's
I've got lots of council business to take care of, not to mention my own domains to keep track of, an entire race to keep from falling off a cliff and dying their own selves."
Fair enough. Thought we would ask in case...
But, to tell you truthful, if you're looking for a cage to hold something, I've been commissioned that before. Why don't you ask your friend, Primus? Even he couldn't build a cage good enough for what he was trying to make, so he asked me.
Alright. You think he has one to borrow?
Well, I'm sure he's got something that can hold something.
Alright, fair enough. Appreciate your time.
I mean, something fairly powerful. I mean, not to mention he's got all those artifacts hiding down there. I'm certain there's something there that's pretty well defensible.
Fair point.
Right. Well,
you're not looking for a champion, are you?
I am actually looking for a champion. You're not on the top of my list, though, I'll tell you that.
How about Mitnir?
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, I know they call him Oxbomarty, but he's not really my choice for a Celestial champion, especially Mount Celestia. I have been looking at your third member of your little troop that participated in that little show down there over at the school.
Well, yeah, Orin. He's going to be...
No, I'm not talking Orin.
Oh, Celeste.
That one last. Yeah, she's
great. She is great.
I was thinking about bringing her into the fold as an aspirant. Maybe sending a fracture in mine her way.
Well, I am sure she would appreciate that. She is great. I do endorse that.
I know we're not of the same style, but I do appreciate her commitment to being, well,
excellent.
Bright.
Fair enough. But keep Orin in mind, maybe, if you're looking for something in the Celestial way, because he's getting a bit of an upgrade. He's going to be even better.
Oh, right, sure. You clear up that Norththought problem, and I'll consider him.
Okay.
Hey, well, yeah, best of luck. Hopefully you don't die, and I'm glad I won't have wasted my time making anything for a bunch of dead folks.
Well, hopefully we won't die, and it won't have been a problem either way. So, thanks for your time and your consideration, and we'll see you when we don't die.
Fair enough.
Okay.
And with that, as those poor puny mortals went off to do their work, I, Ord, sat upon my chair and took a nice, well-deserved break. And that's where we're going to end our session for today. So thanks so much for hanging out, everybody. hopefully we'll be able to make some serious progress in our next session and get closer to getting a new body for Orin, assuming he doesn't just fall apart. But the last thing I'm going to do before I completely close this out is Orin roll for week 5.
No.
I already rolled for that week.
No, new week. You roll for week 4.
Six.
You're chilling. And with that, we'll go ahead and end our session for the week. Remember, we love you, and we did it for the roll.
We did it for Orin not dying.
He went in so fast that time.